All right, let me bring in Gaurav Sawant on this coverage here. Gaurav, what do you think are the reasons here for Trump's victory? Of course, all poll surveys predicted a neck-and-neck fight, but clearly Trump sweeping this election. What happened?
Indeed, it was being described as a neck and neck, and he is head and shoulders, ahead of Kamala Harris. But there are two things that worked in his favor and something that went against Kamala Harris. She came into this race rather late. Initially, it was said to be Donald Trump versus Biden, Joe Biden once again. And that is where Donald Trump had actually, his leads, according to pollsters, had surged ahead. So Kamala Harris was trying to play catch up, and she did, bringing it neck and neck. But that assassination attempt at Butler, Pennsylvania, that's the time that he got up and he repeatedly said, fight, fight, fight. That was the time that, America, once again, he caught America's imagination. Then he reached out to, perhaps the middle-class America. He reached out to the African-American male. He reached out to the Latino male. He reached out to the Asian-American male, and especially the second generation, the blue-collared white American, those without college degrees, and telling them that he means business. He will ensure that there's more money put in their pockets, and that is something that perhaps struck a chord with the voters. Another point, Ronald Reagan in 1980 had asked voters at that point of time whether they were better off than they were 4 years ago, and if not, vote for change or vote for him. And that was exactly what Donald Trump said. Then Elon Musk put in a lot of his muscle and effort behind Donald Trump, ensuring that last mile connectivity, where the Democrats are considered much stronger in ensuring voters get to the polling stations. So while women voters came out in large numbers, and the Democrats saw that as a big advantage for them, for women's reproductive rights issue that Kamala Harris was constantly talking about and campaigning for, Elon Musk came out and said this is a time that the men should come out and vote in larger numbers, and that's the campaign that the Republicans also then took forward. And you're looking at results and leads that are coming out now as an impact of that effort that was made constantly, because the Democrats were seen as having 3 times the money, better machinery. Many argued with the administration backing them to a very large extent, and yet Donald Trump won with this spectacular majority. He's spoken of the victory at the Senate, at the House, and of course getting all these numbers, which he says is spectacular and virtually unprecedented.
Well, what does Trump's return really mean for America's immigration and border policy? Because that, I know, Gaurav, is the one hard stand that Trump has taken as opposed to Kamala Harris, speaking on illegal immigration, strengthening its borders, putting up walls across the borders. That's how stern he's been on ensuring that illegal immigrants are controlled. What does that do for America now?
And they did, as you very rightly point out, economy has constantly been a major issue, and that is something that Trump focused on. But the immigration issue is something that he did focus on. Now, even in Indian elections, Ghuspatia does remain a major issue. Your resources are finite. Immigration, if it becomes infinite, and all sorts of people without checks and balances come into the system, as is argued in India, that for vote bank politics, illegal immigrants are brought in, it becomes a major electoral issue, like it is in Jharkhand, like it has been in several other states. Similarly, in the United States of America, and especially Donald Trump getting all the 7 swing states is perhaps an indication that immigration, illegal immigration, security, resources, finite resources, healthcare, jobs, in some cases that the Democrats and media really hit out at Donald Trump for, when he said that these illegal immigrants when they are here, not even your pets are safe. All of that, somewhere down the line, did seem to strike a chord with the voters, given the landslide victory that Trump has got, and he's leading in all the states. He's got the swing states. He's leading in some swing states, and that just goes on to show that he was able to strike a chord that Kamala Harris, as Donald Trump says, the legacy media, they despite their ganging up on him, he was able to get his message across to the voters straight away.
All right. Well, and when speaking about Trump for India, Gaurav, we've seen the kind of bonhomie that Trump and Modi share. With Trump now back in the White House, how do you think ties between India and United States would further improve?
So India-America relationship is all set to grow under the presidency of Donald Trump in the United States of America and Narendra Modi in India. The two share great personal chemistry. They've dealt with each other very, very extensively. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi, when he congratulated Donald Trump, he's put out some pictures of their meeting on the sidelines of G7. Their meeting during Howdy Modi in Houston, Texas, when Donald Trump had come to India for Namaste Trump. And it just goes on to show that the two respect each other, know each other well, understand each other. Even in a conversation in the run-up to elections, in a conversation that Donald Trump was having in the United States of America with the Americans, he spoke of Narendra Modi being a very strong leader and dealing with issues that India needs to deal with. Saying, you stay out of it, I'll deal with it myself. He's talked about Narendra Modi being a very tough negotiator. So when you look at two aspects, whether on H-1B visas and on trade, there could be, that 20% tariff that he's talking about imposing. But analysts in India say that that's something that India will negotiate, will deal with, and knows how to deal with something like this. And there are always, with Donald Trump, there's always a give and take, a give here, a take there. And that's how the relationship will be taken forward. So while India-US relations, they grow constantly, whether there's a Democrat, president or a Republican president. But several analysts say when there are Republicans, the relationship grows even stronger.
All right. Thanks very much, Gaurav, for joining us with those updates.